Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. If you go to a temple or a gurudwara or a church or a mosque or any place that is sacred to you, and you hear someone mouth profanities or communal slurs in that house of worship, how would you react? With anger, with disgust, right? I would confront the person. I would give him a piece of my mind. If needed, I would pick up a fight and create a scene. Now tell me, ladies and gentlemen, as citizens of this country, how should we react, tax-paying citizens react, when a member of parliament disregards maryada, disregards tehzeeb and basic decency, and targets a Muslim MP with words that I cannot repeat on this show? Words so foul that they had to be expunged from the records of the Lok Sabha. So here you have a situation where a BJP MP is calling a fellow MP from another party a terrorist inside India's temple of democracy. Irrespective of ideology and religion, irrespective of which party I vote for, how should I react as a citizen? An MP is not someone a citizen can access easily. The only thing I can do right now is outrage, feel anguished, and not vote for that Neta again. I hope the people of South Delhi ask some tough questions to their MP when he comes seeking their vote next. I cannot show you what BJP MP Ramesh Bidhuri said on the floor of the House yesterday. It has been expunged. His statements have been expunged. So I can't put them on air. Let me just say that there were Islamophobic slurs you would not want your kids to hear or repeat. At the receiving end was this man on your screens. He has a BSP MP. His name is Danish Ali. Today, he was reduced to tears talking about the abuse he faced inside India's temple of democracy. All this happened, ladies and gentlemen, in the Lok Sabha. And when Mr. Bidhuri was in full flow, Islamophobic flow, instead of stopping him, there were BJP MPs who were seen smiling along. And these are not ordinary MPs I'm talking about. They were not rookies. They were senior leaders who have been ministers in the government of India, Ravi Shankar Prasad and Dr. Harshvardhan. Here was an honorable MP dishonoring India and its parliament with no one to stop him or mute his mic. Today, after the clip of Bidhuri and his Badtamizi went viral, opposition MPs started tweeting. Now, the Speaker of the House is usually very happy to suspend opposition MPs who cross the Lakshman Rekha. Are the rules any different for BJP MPs? As the clip went viral, Speaker Om Birla issued a warning to Bidhuri. The BJP show-caused him and asked him to respond in the next 15 days. Question is that enough? Such was the language used, ladies and gentlemen, by Mr. Bidhuri that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who was present in the Lok Sabha, had to stand up and apologize on his behalf. But Mr. Bidhuri himself is unrepentant. He isn't saying anything. But a deeply anguished Danish Ali is. Listen in.
पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या आरएसएस की शाखाओं में, क्या प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नए भारत की प्रयोगशाला में कैडर को यही पढ़ाया जाता है? वी आर मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी अकॉर्डिंग टू ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड वी आर प्राउड ऑफ इट. उस मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी के टेंपल में एक चुने हुए सांसद के खिलाफ जिस तरीके के अल्फाज मुल्ला, कटवा, आतंकवादी, उपद्रवी, ये क्या है? इस देश में हो क्या रहा है? ये हो क्या रहा है? रूह भी कांप जाती है वो अल्फाज सुन के. मैं रात भर सो नहीं पाया, दिमाग की नस फटने को तैयार थी है मेरी. मुझे उम्मीद है कि मेरे साथ न्याय होगा. आदरणीय स्पीकर साहब कार्रवाई करेंगे, नहीं तो मैं भरे मन से इस सदन को भी छोड़ने पर विचार कर रहा हूं।
बिधूरी ने कहा है दनीश अनिल जी के बारे में, वो अत्यंत निंदनीय है। इसकी कितनी भी निंदा की जाए वो कम होगी। और रक्षा मंत्री राजनाथ सिंह ने माफी मांगी है, वो अपर्याप्त है। ऐसा भाषा मैंने कभी सुना नहीं है। ये भाषा न केवल पार्लियामेंट के अंदर नहीं इस्तेमाल होना चाहिए, पर पार्लियामेंट के बाहर भी नहीं। ये अपमान है, सभी सांसदों का अपमान है। दनीश अनिल जी का तो अपमान ही है, पर हम सब का अपमान है। और ये पार्लियामेंट, नए पार्लियामेंट में जो प्रधानमंत्री कहते हैं कि नए पार्लियामेंट की शुरुआत नारी शक्ति वंदे अधिनियम से हुआ है, नई पार्लियामेंट की शुरुआत बिधूरी से हुआ है, इनके शब्दों से हुआ है।
ये तो एक माफिया गुंडे की भाषा है। आप एक सम्मानित सांसद को जो लोकसभा में चुनकर आया है, आपने उस सांसद को वहां आतंकवादी कह दिया, गाली दे दी। दानिश अली का जो जिस प्रकार से अपमान सदन के अंदर किया गया है, वो इस देश के जो तमाम विपक्ष के सांसद हैं जो सरकार के खिलाफ आवाज उठाते रहते हैं, उन सब का अपमान है। मैंने तो मणिपुर की हिंसा का मुद्दा उठाया सदन में, मुझे निलंबित करके बाहर कर दिया। इसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं हो रही?
अगर सिर्फ टेररिस्ट ही कहा होता, उसकी तो हमें आदत है। आप मेरा सोशल मीडिया देखिए तो टेररिस्ट बुलाने में तो ये थकते नहीं हैं, लेकिन उसके साथ जो जो कहा, अब मैं आपके चैनल को तो लोग देखते हैं, मैं वो अल्फाज यहाँ दोहराना नहीं चाहता हूँ, लेकिन शर्मिंदा भी होता हूँ कि पार्लियामेंट में इस तरह के अल्फाज इस्तेमाल किए गए। नाराज भी होता हूँ क्योंकि आखिरकार ये तमाम मुसलमानों के खिलाफ ये अल्फाज इस्तेमाल हुए। समझ में नहीं आता वो लोग जो बीजेपी के अंदर हैं मुसलमान या बीजेपी के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, वो किस तरह ये बर्दाश्त करते।
मुझे दुख जरूर हुआ, आश्चर्य नहीं हुआ, आश्चर्य कतई नहीं हुआ। प्रधानमंत्री जी के वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की सच्चाई यही है। और कल जो भाषा सदन के अंदर बोली गई, एक सांसद के लिए अगर सदन के अंदर ये भाषा बोली जा रही है, तो सोच के देखिए कि सड़कों पर, गलियों में, नुक्कड़ में, गांव में मुसलमानों के खिलाफ, दलितों के खिलाफ, वंचितों के खिलाफ किस तरह की आवाज को, किस तरह की जुबान को लेजिटिमेसी दी गई है। प्रधानमंत्री जी, सबका साथ सबका विकास को जीना पड़ता है। रमेश बिधूरी जी आपके माननीय सांसद हैं और उनके लिए आप एक सख्त शब्द नहीं बोल पाए अभी तक।
Not just objectionable, it comes under the category of hate speech. It comes under the category of feeding more poison in the society. Bharatiya Janata Party in the new parliament has also left the basic decency of how they campaign on ground versus how they speak in the parliament. This is exactly the hate and poison that they have spread across this country and divided Indians. It's shameful, it's derogatory, it's hateful, it's divisive. Just taking cognizance of the matter will not suffice. Action needs to be taken. Because what you're doing is spreading more hate against minorities. It's shameful, shameful and disgusting.
रमेश बिधूरी जी बोल रहे थे तो मैं उनकी पूरी बातों को सुन नहीं पाया, लेकिन विपक्ष की बेंच पर बैठे हमारी सम्मानित सदस्यों ने कहा कुछ ऐसी बात उन्होंने कही है जिससे इनकी फीलिंग हर्ट हुई है। तो मैं आपसे विनम्र अनुरोध करूंगा कि रिकॉर्ड में लिखवा लें, ऐसी कोई बात यदि उन्होंने कही है तो रिकॉर्ड से उसे डिलीट कर दिया जाना चाहिए, उसे बाहर कर दिया। एक मिनट प्लीज प्लीज, अरे प्लीज प्लीज, मेरी बात।
I already gave a ruling that were already deleted.
यदि कुछ ऐसा उन्होंने कहा है जिससे कि इनकी फीलिंग हर्ट हुई है, उसके लिए मैं खेद व्यक्त करता हूं।
And a short while ago, we had Rahul Gandhi who dropped by at Danish Ali's residence. Those are the pictures there. This is what he said post that meeting.
नफरत के बाजार में मोहब्बत की दुकान, नफरत के बाजार में मोहब्बत की दुकान। थैंक यू।
My guest this evening, Manish Bariyar, is a political analyst, has the tough job of defending the BJP MP Ramesh Bidhuri, a motor mouth who has been in trouble many, many times before, but simply doesn't seem to learn his lessons, and his party doesn't seem to pull him up enough. Dr. Rijiju Datta is spokesperson of the TMC, joining us on the broadcast. Ghanshyam Tiwary is the national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Tehseen Poonawalla is a political analyst, joining us here in the broadcast. Manish, for obvious reasons, I'm going to start with you. You know, this session was called the Amrit Kal session of Sansad. And here you have an MP who is mixing zeher, poison, in this Amrit Kal session. I want to ask you why the BJP is going so soft on him, giving him 15 days time. Please, we are show causing you. In 15 days, tell us why we should not suspend you. Why go soft on a guy who's embarrassing you over and over again?
Yeah, good evening to you and all the co-panelists. I think, you've shown all the clips and everything, and we all understand that this is reprehensible. And I do not hold brief from BJP in that way that, I'll condone what he has done. But I would like you to take to the larger picture. I would agree with what Mr. Jairam Ramesh said. Why do you really accept such kind of language even outside the parliament? I think people have become very insensitive. And because of this height of insensitivity, and please do not get, there are a lot of words which have been used by top party members across the, spectrum outside the parliament. Now, why don't you get outraged also of the fact that you have hundreds and hundreds of criminals inside the parliament who are facing charges? So what do you expect? Right? Sometimes I'm not talking about Mr. Bidhuri, but I'm saying that the general discourse in our country and political discourse has gone down to such an extent that you find these kind of statements, reprehensible statements coming up. So I'm not really holding brief or defending, but I would rather say that it's a collective responsibility, and parties across, leaders across party lines have been responsible for either ignoring or encouraging words like that. I would like you to remind Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's word, Maut ka Saudagar, to Mamata Banerjee's word, where she said, I will pull a rope and I will pull Mr. Modi out to, Chaukidar Chor hai. What are these? So, you were talking about, parliament is like a temple. Yes, but at the same time, I think one should not condone these kind of statements outside, with an added caveat that obviously I'm not defending what Mr. Bidhuri has done. It is to be criticized in the strictest possible manner. I am sure BJP is going to take action. I don't think they are going to wait for too much. It's a procedure issue. But, he has been given 15 days, but I'm sure he has to reply quickly, and he would be suspended or dismissed. I have no doubts over that.
Okay, Manish, so the point you're making is this is collective responsibility, and there are other leaders who have said nasty things about each other outside parliament, and why don't we focus on that? Let the BJP lead the way, na? The BJP is the party that rules this country right now. It has 303 seats. They should be the ones. Here's the thing.
That's very unfair on your part.
There is no Bidhuri in this country. Give me a minute. I'll give you time. I'll give you time, Manish. And yes, you can say that I'm being unfair, but just give me a couple of minutes here. There's a new Bidhuri in this country that no one reacts to anything unless it is on social media. You want to complain against Swiggy, you can write 20 emails. No one will respond until you put down a tweet. Right? A woman wants to complain to the police about sexual harassment. Her complaint will not be filed until she puts it on Twitter. Same thing is happening here. Till the clip went viral today, no one did or said anything. There was nothing from Om Birla, Speaker of the House, right? Should have said something. BJP, the party that rules this country, you have an MP who's making Islamophobic statements inside the floor of the House, calling a fellow MP a terrorist and worst. We can't repeat those words because
abusive language. Yeah.
And no one does anything about it. No one does anything about it till the clip goes viral.
And you know what really hurt me? Two men I hold in very high regard while I continue to oppose the BJP, Ravi Shankar Prasad ji and Harshvardhan ji. They were laughing and giggling. At the least I expected these two former union ministers was to get up and tell him to sit down. They were giggling. And then Harshvardhan ji has come up with a tweet saying, oh, I have a lot of Muslim friends. I mean, I'm sorry for my casual language. Dude, you were sitting there laughing and giggling. You didn't stand up and ask your fellow MP to sit down and not use this language. And Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, what has he reduced himself to? This was Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, the IT minister of the country, the law minister, someone we've all grown up watching his politics, sitting there and laughing, encouraging this. And the entire house was enjoying this spectacle. A fellow MP was being humiliated, was being degraded, was being called all sorts of names, from a terrorist to language we can't use. And people were laughing and the speaker was not saying anything, the person in the chair. And what has Om Birla ji done today? Oh, I've issued a warning to him not to do it next time. Is this the job of Om Birla? And you know, this comes down from what's happened in our politics. I agree, by and large, politics has degraded. But you expecting BJP to make a difference, I think is too wrong, is like expecting perhaps the impossible, because this is the same Bharatiya Janata Party whose topmost leadership has often indulged in the most uncivil discourse. What happened to Pragya Thakur ji? The Honorable Prime Minister told your channel exclusively, मैं उनको हृदय से माफ नहीं करूँगा. What has happened to her? Has any action taken place? In a press conference, Amit Shah ji said action will be taken on Pragya Thakur ji in 14 days. Has anything happened? She's gone on making hate speeches. What happened to the woman who said Ramzade, or the other word which we can't use? What happened to VK Singh, who compared Dalit children to the language that he used, or used the language prostitute for media? Anything's happened? What happened to the BJP MP who is accused of molesting wrestlers, a fight you've been fighting? Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. Has anything happened despite Delhi police charge-sheeting him for sexual molestation? The BJP never takes action. The Prime Minister himself, and Riju Datta is here, was mocking the only woman Chief Minister, Didi O Didi. Does that behove the Honourable Prime Minister? Or the language used for Sonia ji, Jersey cow, for Rahul Gandhi, Jersey cow, hybrid bachada, for Shashi Tharoor's wife, late wife, 50 crore ki girlfriend. This is the language of the BJP.
You know, a lot gets said when you're campaigning, right? You say a lot of nasty things about each other. But you don't, there's a certain maryada that you have to uphold when you come to Parliament. It is the temple of democracy. Lakhs of people in your constituency put faith in you and send you there, not to do this. Rijiju Datta, Dr. Rijiju Datta, would you want to come in here? You know, the argument that has come from the BJP side, and it's not Manish, but there is an argument that has come from the BJP side, is that, you know, there are other leaders as well from the TMC who come and use swear words against fellow MPs and go out. If they are not being punished or suspended, why should we act against Ramesh Bidhuri? That's their logic that I'm putting to you.
Right. Yeah, BJP will give that logic to Shreya, but last I heard, at least 6 to 7 shows got cancelled on different platforms because on this particular topic, BJP is not sending their spokespersons. So that shows, you know, how scared they are, or how on a back foot they are to face the fire.
100% correct.
Thank you.
I just want to tell our viewers that we had sent an invite to the BJP as well. They officially refused to come.
Yes. Now, I will be very honest about this. You know, like Tehseen said, like you said, when we are on a campaign during elections, it is a very tough terrain. It is very stressful. At that time, people say a lot of things. But whether it is Trinamool, whether it is Congress, whether it is BJP, or even, you know, some senior leaders of the BJP, there is always a line that we do not cross. We do not use direct abusive language. We don't do tu tadak and all this. What this particular fellow, and I'm sorry, I cannot call him an MP, this particular fellow did on the floor of the Parliament was the language of sadak chap gundas that you normally hear when you cross the road. And the biggest thing, see, there are two critical points to be noted here. One, if a minority Muslim MP can be targeted with such language inside the floor of the Parliament, then imagine the plight of ordinary Muslims walking on the streets of this nation. Point number two, BJP has set this precedence, which I have been saying for a long time. It's a dangerous precedence that whether, like Tehseen said, Brij Bhushan Saran ji, if you are a molester, if you are a rapist, if you are a murderer, if you are a fraudster or a scammer, no matter what you are, as long as you join the BJP, all your sins are pardoned. My Rajya Sabha leader Derek O'Brien was suspended for the entire session because he raised a question that we want a discussion on Manipur. And now Mr. Om Birla is saying that I have given him a warning. I want to ask Om Birla ji, and I am asking that question on a national channel because my backbone is straight, is that what if somebody uses that language for him? Will he tolerate it? You have to take it on yourself. This is the plight of minorities, Dalits and Muslims in the country, where the leader of the ruling government can stand on the floor of the parliament, on the building, and call others, elected members, terrorists and whatnot, communal slurs. These are, like Priyanka Chaturvedi ji was saying, this is hate speech. This is communal speech. You cannot say, these are things you cannot even say on an election campaign also.
Okay.
You cannot say from a public platform. You cannot even call these names to your own driver. And he is calling a fellow MP on the floor of the parliament. He should be thrown. If Narendra Modi ji or Amit Shah ji is watching this, I think to regain the faith of Muslims, minorities, Dalits and public in general to the BJP, Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah should throw this fellow out of BJP and he should be arrested immediately.
But the question is, does the BJP want the faith and the votes of the BJP? That's another question, which is open for debate. But Manish, you are raising your hand. Please go ahead. You know, the impression is, Manish, that the BJP is deliberately letting. Can I just complete? The impression is, my impression is, and the impression of everyone. My impression is, and the impression of everyone who's heard Mr. Bidhuri speak is that the BJP and the speaker are letting Ramesh Bidhuri go free. प्रोसीजर की बात की आपने मनीष, क्या प्रोसीजर होता है जब सरकार को चाहिए होता है? मनीष 1 मिनट, जब सरकार को चाहिए होता है तो 2 दिन में a bill that has been pending for 27 years, 2 दिन में वो बिल पास हो जाता है. जब गवर्नमेंट को चाहिए होता है, in 24 hours Article 370 is scrapped. And the government and the BJP now want to give 15 days to Mr. Bidhuri to respond to why he said what he said before the party will take action. Please tell me which sane citizen watching this, watching this broadcast right now would believe the BJP?
No. My question to you and to Dr. Riju Datta is also, did you get outraged in the similar way? Again, I'm not trying to defend what Mr. Bidhuri has done. I've told it is pretty reprehensible. When Mrs. Mahua Moitra said what she said on the floor of the parliament, did you get outraged in the similar manner? I did not see that. And I'm sorry if you've done that, then I've missed that. But please ask the spokesperson of TMC. He has given up such a nice lecture on probity, on not using languages, but the kind of violence and language and sick language which TMC regularly uses. They've used even on TV channels, but inside legislative assemblies, right? It is as sacrosanct as parliament. But please go and look at their record. What a nice show which is happening out here of all good things. But are we not looking at the reality of this, the discourse? Why are you ignoring
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Is it okay? You
Manish,
said that, okay,
two wrongs don't make a right. You can't tell me here, Manish, that TMC netas use terrible and foul language in Bengal. Therefore, the BJP minister, the BJP MP is justified using that language inside India's temple of democracy.
I'm saying that this outrage, while I would still say is justifiable, I would say that please continue this outrage regularly so that things could be better. Right. I don't see such kind of outrage happening regularly at every interval with such kind of things are happening.
Manish.
Selective outrage. So you are essentially, your charge is selective outrage.
Manish, if there's one person on this panel who's not a hypocrite, I think it's me who stood up for hate speech in every single form. I would agree with you, form you can think about. I also went to the Honorable Supreme Court. There's a hate... Yes, and Manish, there's a hate speech judgment on my name. You know what Amit Shah ji said? When the Honorable Supreme Court asked the Parliament of India to make a law on hate speech, Honorable Amit Shah ji gets up in Parliament and says, we don't need a law on it. I'm asking you, Why is there no law? There is no law because who benefits from this? Who benefits from this polarization? Look, I'm not saying that there are not people who don't say these things and they are not condemned. But the biggest beneficiary of hate is the Bharatiya Janata Party. And we need to realize,
I would disagree with you.
that the same BJP
with lot
MPs
of
who
respect,
promote
I
hate
would
here,
disagree with you.
all of them, most of them, just no, Manish, I absolutely agree with you, and we have a right to both disagree with each other. But the same BJP MPs who promote hate in India, so many of them have houses in Dubai, so many of them. And that's a fact. You come to Dubai now, you'll see all of them hanging there. And that is what this is about. The fact is BJP benefits from hate. And BJP should take the initiative. And it's wrong. And I will have the guts to stand up here and say it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong.
Absolutely.
What happened in 84 is wrong. And I wish Tehseen Poonawalla in 84 was in his 30s that he could go to Supreme Court. But when I could go, I did go. And that doesn't change that 84 is wrong. But to say a wrong happened in 84, to say a wrong happened in West Bengal justifies what happened to Danish Ali is not correct, Manish.
No, absolutely not. And I'm with you on that. But my point has been, that yes, I would agree with you that there should be a law. And my point has been on selective outrage, right? It is not, it is to justify what Mr. Bidhuri has said. I'm again telling you. But this is something which has become an acceptable part of the political as well as the general discourse. And such kind of reprehensible things are bound to happen. If you are not very, if you do not have this outrage at every moment, every day, it cannot be one day. It has to be every day. I would love if Shreya is able to do this day after day, year after year. I think then only you will find this going down. Otherwise, one of the days
she does. I've been on her shows condemning Sanatan. When they abuse Sanatan. No, Shreya is the one anchor who takes up for hate on every platform.
Here's what I'll say. Okay. Just give me a minute. I want to get in Ghanshyam Tiwary. There was something I was about to say. And then I thought to myself, let me not be a motor.
You're a BJP voter.
No, there was something I wanted to say, but I think I'll restrain myself. Ghanshyam Tiwary, what shocks me is also the fact, apart from the fact that two senior BJP MPs are seen laughing and smiling when this Islamophobic speech is being made inside the floor, on the floor of the House. What shocks me even more is that it's so embarrassing for the BJP that the defense minister of this country, who was also in the House, stands up and says, "Maine suna to nahi kya bola, lekin if you felt bad, if someone's feelings were hurt, then I apologize. I apologize to this House on behalf of Mr. Bidhuri." Mr. Bidhuri, on the other hand, has refused to apologize. He is unrepentant. He has been unrepentant in the past as well. When he has said things, again, things that I wish I could repeat on camera, but I can't. And when he's been cross-questioned, when he's been pulled up, he said, "I've said what I said, and I'll continue to repeat it." And again, Islamophobic stuff. What do you even say to a situation like this?
Good evening, share to you, my fellow panelists and the viewers. The easy answer of this, right, is that BJP that has not 100, not 200, 300, 400, but nearly 450 sitting MPs and MLAs who have criminal charges is a spectacle to watch when it comes to this kind of abusive language or unaccountability. Unaccountability was the hallmark of Braj Bhushan Singh, remains hallmark of every BJP leader who's caught in such a situation. That's the easy part of it. But the real part of it is that what the MP presented is how BJP has started speaking to the minorities in the country. And any group that opposes BJP, be it the farmers, if you look at the social media, you ask a student in a school, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Assam, this is how an average, ambitious, aspirational BJP worker talks about minority. What Mr. Bidhuri did is represent that language in the temple, which is parliament, and what Ravi Shankar Prasad and Harshvardhan Singh said or demonstrated, the former health minister showed, was that they
health
are
minister
part
and
of
the law minister,
former law minister and former health minister. What they showed is they're part of this culture, which is now prominent culture of BJP. that when we want to address anybody, even if it was Abdul Kalam Azad, this is what BJP would have said, because this is how they address a person in minority. You take away every sense of esteem and stake from a person who's worked equally hard for the country, who strives equally hard for dignity. And you say from CAA to other things, you say whether it is Yogi Adityanath, whether it is Anurag Thakur, whether it is Giriraj Singh, these are ministers who have championed this method of talking to the minorities, communicating to them from street to the parliament that you don't belong to this country. We will address you in a way which is derogatory, and we will call you out for being anti-national, no matter what you do for the country. And what Mr. Bidhuri did was just gave it a legitimacy. What Om Birla did is cement that legitimacy. What Ravi Shankar Prasad and the former health minister did is cement that legitimacy. This is the new culture of BJP. This is what they call New India.
Manish, would you want to respond to that? Let me just add and tell our viewers what exactly was going on when this Islamophobic speech was made. It wasn't a speech, it was just responding to what Danish Ali was saying. The discussion that was underway, ladies and gentlemen, was on India's spectacular success on the moon. What was being discussed was Chandrayaan 3. Manish, Chandrayaan was being discussed, and anyone who knows ISRO knows that it is not just Hindu scientists who made it possible. There are Muslim scientists who made it possible. There are Sikh scientists and there are Christian scientists who made it possible.
Can I ask a question? Does Mr. Ghanshyam support what Swami Prasad Maurya when he makes those Hindu-phobic comments? I would like to really, through you, ask him. He has made several of these comments.
Well, to answer
so
this, you can call out.
What exactly are you trying to say?
You can let me answer this, Shreya. You can call out, criticize, feel outraged about a comment, but what you have created is a complete ecosystem architecture of hate that starts from the lookers of India. Please, I do not interrupt. That starts from the lookers of India and goes to the temple of democracy.
That's not acceptable, Mr. Ghanshyam.
I did not interrupt you.
Yeah, please.
I have seen such kind of language being spoken by Sambit Patra. I've seen such kind of language being spoken by other BJP spokespersons. They have legitimized this language on television. They have legitimized this language on street discussions. They have legitimized this language on social media, because this is how BJP wants to address minorities. The reason why Danish Ali wants to resign and not Bidhuri, remember that. Bidhuri is his case history, by the way. He has cases against him. He cannot start a sentence without a gali, would not end a sentence without a gali. Everybody in BJP knows that. But the reason Danish Ali is going to resign is because he understands this, that this is the exact example where even in the temple of democracy, if you are a minority, everything that you have done for the nation will be taken away by this kind of abuses, taken away by this kind of slurs, taken away by this kind of pointed motive that you are a Guradi, you are a terrorist.
I would still call out this hypocrisy.
Right? Whereas this is the track record.
Go ahead.
This is the track record of Bidhuri.
Top leaders.
Right?
This will not be acceptable, obviously. You cannot defend one and then you accuse others. Right? I think you will have to show the same kind of a probity which you are demanding from others.
I'm not demanding any probity. I'm just telling you
the story. Manish, whichever way you look at it.
This is the outcome of what BJP has constructed.
Manish, whichever...
Yeah.
Okay. Ghanshyam, you've made your point. Manish, the point is that tonight, whichever angle you look at what happened inside the Lok Sabha yesterday, it is simply indefensible. You have, the remarks were reprehensible enough for the Lok Sabha to expunge them. The remarks were so bad that the defense minister of this country gets up and apologizes.
Absolutely,
Why can't the BJP
there's no doubt
simply
over
suspend
it.
this
I
guy?
don't should defend it either. There's no question of defending that. But at the same time, I think the hypocrisy should be called out.
But when you give the guy 15 days,
coming up from people,
when you give him 15 days, you're protecting him. Manish, when you give him 15 days to respond, you're essentially hoping that since in India public memory is short, sab bhul jayenge. That is what the BJP is doing. Going soft on someone who has embarrassed you on the floor of the house and has sullied what the Prime Minister has called Amrit Kal, an Amrit Kal ka session. Amrit Kal mein zehar kaun ghulta hai? ये तो आपके दुश्मन हुए ना, दोस्त नहीं हुए. Why protect him?
Maybe,
and the BJP is protecting him.
Or restricted, tomorrow itself. And, all the people are with you on that. There's no doubt over it. I'm on the same boat as you are. My limited point was only that please have this outrage every time something of this sort happens, not only inside Parliament. Don't condone people who are doing this even outside the Parliament. I'm with Tehseen on that. Right? Do it. And
No,
then
there is
you
enough
will
outrage
find that something
when
something
there are
good will
netas
come
who
out of this
say.
discussion.
No, Manish, you're talking about selective outrage, but there is outrage every time something like this happens. Remember a neta who said, देश के गद्दारों को गोली मारो XYZ को? क्या हुआ उनका? Outrage तो बहुत हुआ, but did their party act against them? No. So there is enough outrage, but parties seem to think that they can get away, not doing anything about netas who have the propensity to win elections. How can we deny the fact that Mr. Bidhuri is a 2-time MP? He's a 3-time MLA from South Delhi. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Manish, thank you very much. What? Manish, complete your point. Go ahead.
Talking about there is a severe cultural issue as far as political class is concerned. I think it's across party lines. And yes, this program and hopefully more discussions on this should bring down this kind of toxicity. But you cannot be very selective on that. I don't want to take it back. But there are several instances from people across party lines, even Congress, doing this year after year, day after day. And there have been instances where you have
so be the better person,
but there have not been solutions.
Take the lead.
So I'm not justifying what
Let the BJP take the lead and say, okay, this is what we do to a neta. This is what we do to a neta who calls a fellow MP in Parliament a terrorist. We
so
sack
you have
him.
Mr. Jagdish
Let the BJP show the way. Let them be the bigger person here.
You have a Mr. Jagdish Titler still being mollycoddled in party. You have Mr. Kamal Nath out there. There's several people out in Congress party. I think that outrage has to be out there. I'm sorry if I've taken wrong names, just in case. But there are several of these people out there.
No.
So
you can take whichever names you want. We don't take sides. We take all names. We don't take sides, Manish. We take all names. It's perfectly okay what names you take on the show. We'll leave it there for the moment. I think our viewers have made up their minds. If they haven't, maybe they've made up their minds after watching all of you speak. We'll leave it there for the moment. Manish, thank you very much. Dr. Rijiju, thanks. Ghanshyam, good to have you on the show. And Tehseen, good to have you on the show as well. With that, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. There's more on the other side. Do stay with us.